Hi there.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I was looking at the past YouTube videos. I think we've had like 3 or 4 people watch the meetings. I was like, oh my.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who those are, but that's great.
Right.
We have a following.
Right. And then I noticed I wore the exact same like shirt as last time. I'm like, my gosh, is it my Juvenile Justice Council Day shirt or something?
It's your uniform. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some of those are probably me though, if I don't record it or if it's just easier for me to go back instead of accessing the recording. It's probably me watching it. So
Exactly. Right.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi,
Jen.
Judge Parker.
And so, Julia, do not be afraid to jump in at any time. Since I'm pinch hitting, jump right in.
All right, sounds good. And I appreciate that. And I do have to jump at 12:30. So I can, depending on where we're at, I can either leave the meeting running and when it ends, and that way everything's set up on my end and I'll catch it.
Yeah. My meetings, I expedite matters. We move
I know.
pretty quickly. So I'm your dream for today.
Well, I know. And there's, again, like not a lot I feel like the November holidays have impacted, the progress. So
It's been 2 weeks, really.
well, that's what it feels like. But then when I was like, I appreciate that because I'm like, man, I should have had more done. But it just seems like the weeks went so fast.
It's the holidays.
That's right. Kristen looks very festive in her sweater for the holidays.
I am.
All right, so we need 2 more.
And I apologize, Julia, for the confusion. That one email I sent you. My daughter every single day is reminding me she has Christmas singing performance on Thursday, and I'm like, I do not want to miss it because she will never let me forget it. So.
Oh no, you're fine. Clearly it is working. It's on the mind. Like you're
Exactly.
ready.
Exactly.
Make sure to tell her that.
And I asked her what songs they're singing. She goes, Dad, it's a surprise. So I'm like, okay, we won't practice or anything.
She's really leaving you on a cliffhanger.
She
Damn.
is. She is.
Building it up. This better be good.
Right, exactly.
All right, we have a quorum when you are ready. Oh, and we just lost it. Hold on. Hopefully she comes back. There she is. Now everybody has to stay on. So we have a quorum.
Julia, do you want me to wait another minute or two to see if anybody else is coming, or do you want me to just proceed and
Yeah, we can give it another minute, see if Mike or Eric joins us. I think Latanya's out. And then I know Judge Carrionis was talking about if she can make it, but the court call may not have allowed for that. So
yeah. I'll give it another minute or two before we begin. Well, since we have a quorum, good afternoon, everyone. The time is 12:01, and to be respectful for everybody's time, I think we should go ahead and begin. With the agenda, Julia sent out the minutes from November. So if everybody could take a quick minute to review them, and if there's any changes to please let us know. And then after reviewing, if I can get a motion.
I'll move.
A second.
A second.
All in favor, say aye. Do I have any, all opposed? The minutes will be approved as submitted. So moving on to our next agenda item, the JJC Chairman's reports. The financials for November for personnel was $1,187.84. For the Reducing Ethnic Disparities Conference, that was a virtual conference, 5 participants attended, and that was $1,825. And that comes to a monthly total of $3,012.84. And then year to date, the council has spent $9,354.03. I know it's been kind of a recurring topic that we need to start spending some money. So if there's any ideas or suggestions that we could bring to the group for ways to spend some of the funds, please do so. As a quick side note, I might have a potential idea through a program that myself and Judge Parga learned more about this past week, Strengthening Families, which seemed like it was a really good evidence-based parenting and minor program that I'll try and bring some additional information back to the council, similar to kind of how we brought restorative practices to the council. I think this might be a really good parenting component and student component that might be worthwhile for the council to look at.
And would somebody be able to send an email about what parameters there are to spending that money? What can we consider or look at?
Okay, yeah, I think that'd be really, really helpful. And then also regarding county board representation, we're continuing to actively search for a county board member to join us on our meetings. Julia, do you have any other updates? All right, perfect. Old business and updates on priorities. Youth involvement with the law enforcement training, strategies for youth needed youth participation to help with some of the training and role-playing sections of that training. We haven't been really successful with obtaining youth participation. Julia has reached out to a few organizations and hasn't been successful, but she can extend requests to other agencies to see if we'd able to get youth participation for that component. And then also with the board, looking for those youth participants to join us on our monthly JJC board meetings as well. Any updates with that, Julia?
No, I don't know if the hang up is that it falls over the winter break. I don't know if that's causing issues. I don't know when winter break is, to be honest, for schools, but I'm imagining it's that week. So we'll see what we can do.
What week is the training again?
The 20th and 21st of December.
Yeah, winter break for schools. So.
Yeah, which is, I mean, they have to be there, I think, at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So it's nice that they don't have to. I think FSA, they have a junior board, so I may see if they have anyone.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for that. And then regarding restorative practices, Family Service Association is hosting a restorative practices training in January. They have a total of 15 staff members registered to attend the training. We will see about opening it up potentially to others, but again, it's just finding a large enough space to accommodate the number of participants if we do open it up to other agencies. Also, Julia has met with representatives from Kofi and the Parent Council looking at extending the invite for them to participate in the restorative practice trainings with FSA of Elgin. And again, we're always continuing to have ongoing conversations to expand these trainings up to other organizations as well. Law enforcement training. An update regarding the strategies for youth data request. We were able to receive data from 3 out of the 10 departments. Julia was able to provide data from court services and detention report data from the commission. Julia, any other updates you can provide regarding the data acquisition for the training?
No, I mean, I haven't gotten any feedback as far as if it's been cumbersome. I know Eric had provided some input on that last time we met, so I'm not sure if that's where some of the hangup is. So yeah. Any questions so far about the items discussed? I know I'm kind of rolling along pretty quickly, so please don't be afraid to stop me as I go. Expungements, just a reminder, the packet has been changed due to recent law changes. I know at the last meeting, Judge Parga received the updated expungement packet and was beginning that review process. So Judge Parga, I don't know if you have any updates regarding that or just starting the process.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have not yet gotten very far on that, but I will try to have it done for the next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you, Judge. And then lastly, family court guides. Julia was reviewing the changes and will have the updated guides for the next meeting. And then also she will provide a quote for all of us regarding printing costs for the family court guides. Okay, so that is all I have for old, no, I still got more old business, apologize. Racial and ethnic disparities meeting. This Friday's red meeting was postponed due to until after the holidays, just due to conflicts with Julia. And then I know some of our other agencies are having holiday parties and other events going on. So the group just felt it would be best to postpone the meeting until January. The Adolescent Domestic Battery Work Group met this past week to continue their discussion. There are 3 responses that are being considered to initially work on this impacting issue. The first response is the state is going to be rolling out a standardized screening assessment for detention, which may impact the ability to use detention in response to these cases. 2, I apologize, my office phone keeps going off. 2 legislative changes to the IDVA statute. And then 3, considering a diversion program such as Step Up, utilizing the Adolescent Domestic Battery Typology tool to assess for type of violence. And then the next step is to meet with folks from DuPage County who are familiar with the Step Up program to learn more about it and determine whether or not it would be helpful to address this concern and need within Kane County. Julia, any updates on that?
No, I'm getting to the right people at DuPage County. That's as far, but we have some steps going in process. I don't know if I think Kristen and Eric were both. Kristen, you were at that meeting, right, this week? I don't know if either of you have anything to add, or Deb. I don't know if Deb. No, Patrick was there for Deb.
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay.
Perfect. CX speaker request. This will take place on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday in January at 4 p.m. In Jefferson Middle School, which is in District 129. Speakers have been provided their preferences of days. And then Julia is working with Valerie from 129 to get a list of questions to help the speakers prepare for this event. So any questions regarding that, please reach out to Julia. And then JJC restructure. Julia is continuing to draft the interagency agreement between all of our different organizations. I'm sure Julia, once you continue more work on this, you'll send out the information and update us on this.
Yeah.
JJC site visits. Julie, I believe you sent out like a doodle poll of all the different dates for the site visits for the organization. We're able to fill it out. The dates were provided to the commission based on the availability received. They were January 24th between 9 and 11, 10 a.m., and 12 p.m., 12 p.m. and 2 p.m., and 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. February 2nd between 10 and 12, and then February 9th between 9 and 11 a.m. And so as that time comes near, Julia will send us out more information about the site visits.
And it'll just be, sorry, Josh, it'll just be one of those times. It's just a 2-hour time block. We're just waiting for them to confirm which one we got, basically.
Perfect. Do you know when the commission will provide that date or in time? Probably a few days before, I'm assuming. Hopefully
it will be soon. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna. I assume because the dates were between, I think what was it, January 10th and February 18th, that they won't wait until the commission meeting to sort it out. So I'm not sure when it'll be. It might be after the holidays though.
So can you tell me what that exactly is? I wasn't a part of that last time. What do you do at a site visit, and where is it at?
So they're going to host it virtually because we're an established council. The new councils they're going to do in person, but we're going to host it virtually. And really it's an opportunity for the commission to get an idea about how our council is doing, get perspectives from those that have been involved in the council, what we're doing as far as addressing, any policy related issues, how we're addressing our challenging issue, which is the adolescent domestic battery that we put in our grant application, really just how we're doing with administering the grants and implementing what we said we were going to in our grant application.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I remember from years past, it's not very difficult. It's more of just a conversation piece. Perfect. Next is the wake up call training. Julia is working with West Aurora to start advertising for this. The event is taking place on January 25th. As more information becomes available, Julia will share that out. Julia, if you want, email me the information and then I can have the ROE's PR person come up with like a Twitter slide or something that other agencies could share out as well.
Perfect.
And then is that just a parent training or are they doing the student training as well? I can't remember.
I need to double check with Valerie. I'm not sure what was decided, if they're doing the student one or not.
Okay, perfect. And I know with some of the other wake up call trainings that I've attended online, they have a lot of new information that wasn't presented at the last training. So I think it'd be super beneficial.
Well, is that offered bilingually for the parents who don't speak English?
They do simultaneous translation. They have devices or equipment that they can do that. So I believe like the Spanish speaking parents are given headsets and so they can hear the interpretation through the headsets. It's actually a really cool setup. They did it at the one before.
Mm-hmm.
Who's interpreting for them? Someone from the school, or is it actually like an official interpreter?
Do you know, Josh, if it was somebody from
the school district, I believe, has some paid interpreters on staff. And I've been to some of the other events before that they've used that service, and it's been pretty streamlined where there really wasn't much delay. I've even had one of my employees who was Spanish speaking attend it, and I kind of asked her, hey, did they do a pretty good job keeping up with the pace of the presenter? And she was pretty impressed. So they do a really good job. That is all for old business. And then moving on to new business, the IJJC Red Committee updates. There has been a change in the name. It is now the Illinois Racial Justice and Equity Committee. The organization wanted to move away from the Reducing Ethnic Disparities acronym and also be more representative of the work being done of that group. Also with that group, one of the co-chairs has stepped down, leaving a vacancy. Historically, this role was filled by one of the commissioners, but a decision by the group was made to open it up to anyone on the committee. Julia was approached about the opportunity to be co-chair and accepted with permission from State's Attorney Mosser. This will be an increase in her workload from 2 to 3 hours a month to 3 to 5 hours for this new role. Congratulations on your new position, Julia, with that organization. So anything else you want to share about that and kind of the work of that group, Julia?
There's kind of two work groups that are going on right now with that group. Of course, they have their strategic plan that was submitted to OJJDP, but right now we're focused on looking at statewide data systems that can provide data on the different decision points, and how we can utilize that data and talk with jurisdictions about that data across the state. And then another group is looking at best practices that are occurring around the state in reducing or addressing racial and ethnic disparities. So that's kind of the bulk of the work that's happening right now.
Very cool. And then also the JJC Q2 plan in progress to review. Julia can review the plan. Do you want to review the plan, Julia? Or
yeah, I just wanted to briefly pull it up. I don't want to do an extensive thing, but I was looking at it, and I know that some of the feedback we received from our survey was that we may or may not be aware of how things are progressing and on track throughout the fiscal year. And so I thought, at the end of the quarter, we have a pretty light agenda, so it might be an opportune time to take a look. And I had taken a look and was pleasantly surprised, I guess I should say, that we're actually kind of on track with the plan we set out for. So I hope that this will be uplifting to others as well. So our first goal was to establish a mechanism for collecting and analyzing juvenile arrest data on a regular basis. And so while that has not, that certainly is a lofty goal, I do feel like we are making progress towards this goal with our efforts to, as we talked about at the last meeting, to make that request. It was sort of just a cold request for data for those that are attending the law enforcement training, just to see what sort of feedback that we got from that, or what sort of response we got. So I think, given that we got 3 out of, the 10 jurisdictions that are going to be attending, that kind of gives us an idea of how much of a task this is going to be. So we can certainly maybe revisit some of these conversations with that information in mind. And so then our other goal is around addressing issues related to adolescent domestic battery to reduce the number of youth being detained for this offense. And so, like Josh had given you the update from the adolescent domestic battery work group, we're making progress. We've got some identified strategies that we can hopefully utilize to help impact this issue in our county. And then another goal that we had was around building and strengthening relationships with all relevant stakeholders, invested in improving the juvenile justice system within Kane County. So we've done this exploring the engagement of involved stakeholders and talking about improving the structure of the JJC as an entity. So we've got this interagency agreement that's being drafted to help with that. So even though I haven't had time to really do some of the one-on-ones like I would like to, I think those have been put on, I wouldn't say on the back burner, but maybe on the side burner while we restructure a little bit. And then once we restructure, then I think those can continue to build up the engagement on the JJC. And then of course we're talking with the restorative practices framework, continuing to utilize that and promote it as a strategy to build relationships and build community. And then with our racial and ethnic disparities, so the goal is to reduce racial and ethnic disparities by utilizing various sources of data to assess for contributing factors and implementing initiatives that will resolve the concern. So I know that our racial and ethnic disparities team has been taking a look at our plan, trying to be really intentional with how we're utilizing the data, making sure that we have access to more up-to-date data as well, which we're working on as a team. So I do think that there is some progress being made in those discussions with racial and ethnic disparities as well. So those were our 4 areas that we kind of set out in our grant application. So I just wanted to speak to the progress that I see happening. I don't know if others have any comments in relation to the progress that they're seeing.
Okay. Well, thank you, Julia, for taking some time to at least allow us to review our plan and see how we're progressing. Any other updates from anybody for the group? I'll quickly provide an update for the group. Julia and myself have been working with Dr. Graysick from UIC for an extended period of time, working on a research study. And it seems we're starting to gain some traction. We're now in the proof of concepts section of this. And as a reminder, we wanted to look at early attendance in elementary school as a predictor for potential juvenile court involvement. We sharpened it down for juvenile court involvement for truancy, but I'm thinking the information gained from this would be really helpful as an early indicator for delinquency involvement. So we've partnered with District 300 and District 129. I've brought up this idea to U46 as well, just to initially look at the data for proof of concept, and then work with UIC's internal review board to hopefully get a research study going for this. In speaking with Dr. Graysick, there's really been no research done on this topic area of looking at early elementary grade levels and how that can impact delinquency in minors. And so I'm hopeful if we get approval that this information could better impact our youth and not only the community, but also hopefully the nation. So just a quick little update on some of that work. For the board, our next quarterly meeting is scheduled for January 13th at 11:30 a.m. and this will be held virtually. And then our next board of directors meeting will be February 10th at 12 p.m. and again held virtual through Zoom. So that is all of our updates and our next meeting dates. If I can get a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Hey, before we adjourn, sorry, this wasn't really an update. I just need to clarify who the phone number is. 630-762.
That's Majewski.
Okay, I saw you were connecting to audio.
So yeah, so my computer is the E. Majewski and my phone is the phone at the bottom.
I got
so
you. I just didn't want to assume. Okay.
I'll only vote once, I swear. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So we get a motion.
I move to adjourn.
All right, perfect. Oh, thank you all. And kept it right in time for you, Julia.
You sure did. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Have a wonderful holiday season.
You as well.
Thanks.